Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video on the zeroroman channel. Ladies and gentlemen, you read the title right. I'd rather be addicted to cigarettes than not be able to afford them. First things first, I want to establish this video by saying I am not addicted to cigarettes. For me, it's a ritual. It's a statement. It's a lifestyle. But that phrase, I'd rather be addicted to cigarettes than not be able to afford them, came to me last night, and it hit me because I've seen both sides of the coin, and if I had to choose between one, I'd rather stick with my addiction. I remember my Erbil days, when the heat was burning me, when the morning coffees weren't enough to feed me, when I didn't have the money to buy cigarettes, regardless of how cheap they were back in Iraq. I couldn't even tell my mother to tell my dad because of how tense their relationship was, like a landmine. One word and it'd all be up in smoke. And so, sitting on the kitchen floor, cutting a culera in half so I can give a quarter of it to my mum and the other quarter to my sister. There were days that I would eat that alongside with some knockoff chipotle sauce and call it dinner. But buying a new pack yesterday made me realize of how pricey cigarettes are, especially here in Canada. And it made me think of that phrase because I was once a boy who couldn't afford a culera with minced meat on it, and now I can burn paper, burn tobacco, and turn it into thought. Oh, I apologize, mate. Regardless, I'd rather live with the burden of a vice rather than the burden of being broke. I'd rather choose my own poison because it was never about cigarettes. It was never about addiction. It was about freedom. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if I had to choose between those two options, I'd always rather stick with the latter. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you guys in the next video.